All right, welcome everyone. We're going to give everyone a minute to join, but welcome. You are at SMX Advanced 2024, how to create thousands of custom campaigns in seconds with Fluency blueprints. Welcome. Awesome. We got some more people join. Good to see you. Yeah, perfect. Just to reiterate what's coming out of the chat message, if you don't mind keeping yourself on mute, and go ahead and submit questions into the chat as we go through. We'll collect those and get to those at the end. Awesome. I think we got a good crowd here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Awesome. Again, welcome everyone. This is how to create thousands of custom campaigns in seconds with Fluency blueprints at SMX 2024 Advanced. My name is Mike TG, and I have been doing advertising for a while now, and specifically scaled advertising. So worked a lot with multi-location advertisers, both brands, agencies, etc., who need to scale up the advertising they're doing. Right? They may want to customize some pieces of it, right? Or there's some complexity with it, and I've spent a lot of my career really around kind of tech-enabled teams doing their best work, right? None of us want to show up each day and just copy and paste all day, right? That's not what we got into the job for. We're really more interested, I think, a lot of us, in the strategy and helping to impact, a client's success, right, in the business, or our own brand success. So today we're going to cover how you can create these campaigns. But first, I want to talk a little bit about just how complex it's gotten, right? I feel, like I said, I've been at this for a while, and I feel like it just keeps getting harder, it keeps getting more complex. There's more asks of us as digital advertisers. I saw a great survey out of Ad Age a couple days ago, and they surveyed a bunch of us and said, hey, the job getting easier, or is it getting harder? And no surprise, 7 out of 10 of us said it's getting harder, right? There's just more to do. We at Fluency recognize that. We all come from various brands and agencies. We're all marketers. And so what we try to do at Fluency, and really made our mission, is to build a digital advertising operating system that helps you across the board on everything that you need to do, right, within your day-to-day. So we know that digital advertising is not just one thing, right? There's ad execution and management, there's budgeting, there's reporting and analytics. There's all sorts of things that go into our jobs on a daily basis. And on this one, we really want to focus on the process automation piece, right? Fluency is a big platform. It's got tools that can help across the board. But the process automation piece, I think, is really important, and it's what we're here to talk about today. So the piece of our platform that we use to control advertising at scale, or allow our clients to control advertising at scale, is called a blueprint. And you can think about a blueprint as a way to connect, data into your campaigns, right? You're telling the system how you want the campaigns built, but you're also using the system to manage those campaigns at scale without having to log into every single campaign. We'll go into that a little bit deeper and talk about how this actually works inside of our system. I got a few slides left, and then we'll jump over into the system. So before automation, or without a tool, we really don't have a ton of options as digital advertisers. If we want to make our marketing more robust, if we want to make it more localized, if we want to have more granularity and control, it really becomes difficult, right? It's a lot of us just trying to map data. We usually got a spreadsheet up on our other screen, right, as we're building, and it can be really complex, right? It can get really tough. What we've done is say, hey, all of that data that you're looking at anyway, send that over to the Fluency system. We'll make it available, and then you can use that data to build your campaigns, right? And not just build the campaigns, right? That helps, obviously, when we launch, and launches can be a lot for some of us, but it also helps connect those campaigns to the blueprints at scale, right? So that we can put data in, we can make changes, even dynamically, to the advertising that's happening based on a data source, instead of having to go in and touch each of those individual campaigns. Awesome. Enough with the slides. I would recommend for anyone, and trust me, I get it. I've done SMX for many years. This is a wonderful event, and I'm usually multitasking because of how busy we are, right? So if you're multitasking right now, totally get it. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. But I would encourage you, if this is a struggle for you, right? If you today are realizing that you've got a lot of complexity in your advertising portfolio and you're looking for some help with it, I would highly recommend taking 15 minutes just to zone in on what I'm saying and what we're talking about here. I think you'd be really, really appreciative to yourself that you did that afterwards, because we're going to show you some really cool stuff today. So we're going to focus on account launches, creative updates, ad and campaign changes at scale, and bulk management. And to do this, I wanted to kind of create a real life scenario, right, that we've all experienced. So our assignment today, we're all on the same team. We've got to do some work, right? I'm a brand marketer. I work for a quick serve restaurant called Digital Diner, right? They're a multi-location brand. And I just got a job to do. They told me, hey, you got to increase the ad relevance for all your campaigns, both the existing and the new ones we're about to ask you to build. You need to incorporate the ability to support region-specific specials. So part of this is I need to control differently the Eastern region campaigns in our fake brand called Digital Diner, and the Western region campaigns. I need to control those differently, right? We want to run different specials and things like that. Then I also have to build the advertising campaigns to support those new locations. And as usual, everything in our world, what's the timeline? ASAP, right? It had to be done yesterday. So let's make a quick plan and then let's get to it. What we're going to do is we're going to localize the ad copy for Google and Meta to include the state that diner is in. It could be city, it could be any of those things. We've chosen state. We're also going to ensure that the East versus the West strategies, specials, messaging, all of that can be controlled separately, right? That's one of our requirements. And then we have to create 90 Google and Meta campaigns for all 45 new locations, right? They each get one. We got to make sure the Google campaign is appropriate to the market. And I know you're probably looking at me and going, Mike, this is an SMX demo. This doesn't last that long. This is only 30 minutes. How in the world are you going to do all of this and create 90 new campaigns? Well, I'm going to use Fluency blueprints to do it, right? And I'm going to show you how we can do this with an established blueprint, how we can make this really pretty easy. All right, I'm going to jump in over here and go into the tool itself. So to orient you to our tool, right now we're inside of the Fluency tool. And again, you can see up top here, we've got a lot of different sections of the tool that deal with different challenges you have throughout the day or different tasks that you have to do. If you are interested in seeing more about, the reporting and budgeting and all these kind of management tools we have, I'll have a link at the end where you can request to have someone kind of walk you through it and talk to you about what that might look like for your business. But today we're going to focus primarily on our blueprint section. So if we log into this, right off the bat, we see Digital Diner Demo Blueprint. Great. That's who I work for. That's who I need to do the work on. This is working out so far. If I look at it, though, it's not like a screen I've ever seen, right? I haven't seen a screen like this in Facebook or Google or Microsoft or any of the channels. I don't see screens like this. So I got to kind of figure out what I'm doing here. But look on the left-hand side, though, I go, okay, I see that I've got Facebook and I see that I have search. So obviously those are where I control those things. Awesome. If I click in a little lower down to the campaign level, it's telling me that this is my campaign for the Eastern market. And I scroll down and I find something. I find familiarity, right? I recognize this. Extensions, schedule, budgeting, bidding, geo-targeting. This is all the stuff that's available inside of Google. Same thing if I click over to the Meta blueprint, and I come down, I've got budgeting and bidding, geo-targeting, right? It's all the same things. So essentially what our system does from a blueprints perspective is just mirror what you can control inside of the different publishers. And then you also give you additional tools to make some of the stuff we're going to do today a little bit easier. Awesome. So one other thing, we'll come back and dig into this screen more. I want to show you one other screen, and it is a review screen, right? This is a review screen where you don't have to go log into the 3 or 4 different platforms and try to QA them all differently. I can just review everything that's going to be created for me in one place, right? But I've got some issues, okay? So I've got some issues, and this does not line up with the work that I just got briefed on, right, that I need to go do. I've only got 10 campaigns. I know I need 100, right? I need a Facebook and a Google for all 50 states, right? One for each location. Obviously, the ad groups, the ads, and the keywords need to get bigger to cover the whole country. But also kind of come poke around, right? And this is what I love about Fluency is I don't have to go anywhere else. This is literally my Facebook campaigns right here. And then down here is my search campaigns. So within these, I'm going to verify a couple things. Great. This is our Arkansas campaign. It's targeted to Arkansas. That's easy. That's correct. But if I come down to the ads, these aren't very localized, right? These aren't very regionalized or specific to what someone might be searching for, right? You see things like satisfy cravings in your area or best dining experience in your area, right? Even the path says your area, right? That's not great. Let's work on that. So when we realize that we need to do some work inside of Fluency, generally we're going to go do the work either in blueprints, which we've seen here, or we're going to do it in our data source. One thing that you might have noticed when we were looking at blueprints earlier is these blue blocks, right? These blue blocks that say, digital diner locations dot account name. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't necessarily seen that before. Or digital diner locations dot account name. Huh, what is this and where is this coming from? If I scroll all the way down to the responsive search ad, I see that even my headlines, my descriptions, and my paths are coming from somewhere. Where is this coming from? Well, it's actually really easy. In Fluency, you can connect it to anywhere, right? In this example, we've connected it to a simple spreadsheet. This spreadsheet has the location information, right, for all the different locations I'm currently running, the 5 that I've already built. It's got the search ads, right? So I've got all my headlines and descriptions and paths, etc. And then I've got Facebook, right? My Facebook ads here. Okay, so this is okay, but I think I need to do some work. And part of the work is to localize this ad copy. So let's work on that first. One thing I notice if I go back into my blueprint and I come down here to the geo-targeting, I notice it says digital diner locations dot state. Okay, what is that? Let's break that down for a minute. So what I'm telling this blueprint is, hey, I don't have a geo strategy. I've got geo strategies for every single one of my locations, right? They all have to be different. So instead of putting one static geo strategy, target Arizona, I don't do that in my blueprint. What I do is say, hey, connect this to a list of states. So now I go back to my spreadsheet. Whoa, now I go, hey, look at this, the headlines, the descriptions, the locations, the state, there I am. This is where that's coming from, right? Literally, these columns are powering that part in the blueprint, all right? So when we go to build the Alabama campaign, I can use the state of Alabama. I can use it in my targeting. I can use it inside of my ad copy, right? I can reference the data here in my spreadsheet to inside of Fluency to build out campaigns. So let's do a little bit of work, right? We need to have our relevance piece baked in. So I'm going to come here and now I'm seeing it, right? Location, your area. I'm not a big fan of that. I already wrote some ad copy actually that could help. So I'm going to copy that over and I'm going to paste that in. Now you notice this isn't really ad copy, right? It's got brackets and it says digital diner locations dot state. Here we are. I'm just referencing the state for whatever location I'm building, right? If I'm building Alabama, then the system knows to use Alabama. If it's Arizona, it uses Arizona, right? Pretty simple. Next, I'm going to go into my descriptions and I'm going to juice these up a little bit, right? Everything here says kind of in your area. I don't like that. I think it needs to be more localized. So I'm going to copy and paste some description lines and you'll notice these have the same thing, digital diner locations dot state. Now I'm adding the state as a customization, as a localization to these campaigns. We see another one here, digital diner locations beverage. I'll come back to that one. Remember that though, right? So we've got the beverage, but now my ad copy is going to be dynamically tied to it, right? Instead, that's pretty exciting. Great. Let's do the same thing on Meta. I wasn't a huge fan of the Meta things either, right? I wanted to make sure my Meta ad copy was localized again, like we're doing with the search ads. Awesome. I'm going to add the state tag there. And then I'm going to take our headline and I'm going to localize that as well. So instead of best diner in your area, it's going to be best diner in whatever, the state is that's appropriate. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about ad relevance. That's awesome. I can tie it to state. I know I can put these in. Great. Now, what about the east-west piece, right? We need to do the east-west piece. Well, again, that's already kind of done here. And you'll notice that the beverage I'm controlling is actually in this over here, right? I can say the east beverage is tea and the west beverage is going to be coffee. Okay. So I've already kind of controlled my east versus west, and I'm doing it through something really cool called a valid when. So all this is if I click on this button up here, it says this campaign blueprint is valid when the rule says it's valid. What does the rule say? The rule says digital diner locations based on the region. Okay, great. So this blueprint is only valid when the region equals west. Well, if I go back to my data sheet, I've got region in here, right? That's coming from the client. The client is telling me if it's an Eastern region or a Western region store. Awesome. So I've already got my strategy split out. I feel good. Doing pretty good on time. What's the last thing that I need to do? Well, I need to do the hardest part actually, and I saved it for last. I've got to add 90 more campaigns, right? 45 different locations across. And honestly, I'm even running out of time on this demo. I've only got about 15 minutes left, so we got to do this relatively quick. Okay, so I'm going to click over to one new tab. This tab is where the client sent me all their information, right? So we see this and we see, okay, location, region, awesome. It looks like it's in a good format. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this over. Great. And I'm done. That's it. That's how I build 90 new campaigns. That's how I build out 45 different locations. Let's go look at what the system did now that I've added this data, right? So we're going to go in and we're going to review these. Now, much better. Look at that. I've got 100 campaigns. I've got 100 different ad groups. I've got 100 ads, 50 different keywords, and the changes I made are now in effect, right? Let's go do a little digging. Let's do a little QA. So if we come through here and we start looking at the different advertising, great. This one looks good. Enjoy delicious meals in Arkansas. Awesome. So that worked. Best diner in Arkansas. Awesome. That worked. Great. I'm feeling good about it. Let's go ahead. That's Facebook. Let me go ahead and QA the Facebook piece, right? So targeting, the search piece. Targeting looks good. Awesome. Feel good about that. Let's see how our ad worked out. Okay, great. Digitaldiner.com, location, Arkansas. Awesome. So I've updated the path automatically based on the state. Now even my ad copy is a little more localized, right? Find your favorite meals in Arkansas. So now I'm localizing my campaigns, and look at this. It automatically knows that local tea and friendly service await you. Now hold on. I defined the East beverage as tea, right, in a whole different part of the system, and it automatically knew that, hey, this one sits in the East, so we need to talk about tea, right, not coffee. So you see, with very few changes, once your blueprint is set up, new launches, changes to campaigns, right, changing any of that becomes very, very easy. And then you can QA it kind of all in the same place, right? From here, we just go through, and now as I scroll, I've got all of my campaigns. And guys, all I have to do to make this real is hit the launch button. Once I've QA'd, once I feel really good about where I've, kind of what we've done and what we've built, I hit that launch button and everything pushes out to the platforms and becomes available to manage within Fluency. So pretty cool. This is really the end of our demonstration today. It's very, powerful tool. And I think that, we've got a lot of different folks that use this tool in different ways. A lot of brands that, want to kind of take their advertising to the next level, right? Maybe they don't want to run national branding campaigns anymore, right? They want to break it down and understand state by state, or, right, you might work for an agency that does multi-location, and you've got to really, you want to break it down to the city even, right? Make it super relevant and localized. You can do all of that super easily through Fluency, and through really kind of making it more about the data and where it comes from, right? All I need to do, if I need to change the East beverage, right, in 2 months, I just literally click on it here. Okay, we're not pushing tea anymore. Maybe now we're pushing lemonade, right? Summer, I literally change it one time, and I can change it across hundreds of different ads. Anything that's connected to this blueprint and that lives in the Western market will no longer say tea, and it'll say whatever beverage I want there instead. So guys, this gives you a whole nother level of control in your advertising. It gives you a whole nother level of, granularity, right? Ability to launch things at scale and to do those at scale. Awesome. I think we have a few questions from the chat, so I'm going to switch over to that. I do have someone who's kind of collecting all these, so if we don't get to all of them right now, we'll definitely shoot them out. Let's look at the first one here. What data can you connect to? Great question. So the data you can connect to, I'm using a simple spreadsheet here. And that's kind of our simplest connector. If you have an engineering team within your brand or your agency, we can accept data through a lot of common, exchanges, SFTP. We have API connections available. So that data is, really wherever you have it, we're usually able to connect to it. Is there a limit to how many blueprints I can create? No. So you can actually create as many blueprints as you'd like to. Any of these can, so you can, and again, it depends on the kind of business you're running. We have some brands that'll create blueprints by product line, right? They may want to control certain product lines by that. It's not uncommon to have agencies that have a lot of multi-location clients to kind of group their clients. So you might have, in an agency world, you might have a diner blueprint, right? Somewhere where you power all of your diners, right, with a certain strategy, and you kind of customize from there. But yeah, long story short, no limit on the blueprints. You can create as many as you need. Our team will also, your support team as a Fluency partner, can help you make, kind of help you think through what that looks like in the future, right? Some partners show up and say, I think I need 10 blueprints. Our team shows them how to do it, in 2 with a little more advanced logic. So really cool one there. Do we provide assistance in the setup process? Yes, actually, and we are pretty good at it. We are #1 on G2 for our CS teams and our customer success teams, and just overall client satisfaction. So yes, we're with you. We're with you throughout the journey. Obviously, there's different packages and product, levels of support that you can buy, and that all depends on what you need. But yes, in general, our folks are here. They're all expert digital marketers. They understand the Fluency platform really, really well. So trust me, you're not tackling what I just did like blind. We never throw you an FAQ link and say, good luck. It's always a real person on the other side talking through this kind of strategy, right? To be able to say, hey, if you do it this way, it might be a little easier, a little faster, right? So we've got experts who have been through this many, many times that can help guide you through it. Okay, next question. Am I able to A/B test blueprints and strategies? Yeah, actually, that's a great feature that we weren't able to get to, but I'll mention it now. You can actually define entire strategies and then test against them, right? So, maybe I'm doing something here in the Western market that's like kind of cool, right? A little bit more advanced. Maybe I'm tying it to inventory, right? Maybe they're not a diner, or they're someone that sells products, right? Like a little PC store or something. I can tie campaigns to an inventory feed, right? And have them automatically turn on and off, right? It's only valid when there's inventory. I can do that in here. I also can, so I can A/B test that strategy against my regular strategy. And if I like it, I just promote the blueprint, right? And it becomes my new strategy, which is awesome. Okay, and let me see here. Another question. Since blueprints can control campaigns ongoing, what if I don't want a blueprint to touch a specific setting inside of a specific campaign? Awesome question. Yeah. So whenever you're dealing with automation at this scale, right, when you can touch this many campaigns at once, you want some limits on that, right? There's going to be times where you want, maybe it's a specific client, maybe it's a specific campaign for your brand that, you're like, actually, I want Fluency to like help me with this part of it, but like this thing I need to control really differently than the rest of it. We have a concept called locking a field. And so you can do that. You can, at a lower level campaign that's being controlled by a blueprint, you can say, you know what, for this one in particular, I'm going to lock the geo strategy, right? I actually don't want you controlling my geo strategy. I've got a one-off thing I have to do on this campaign. It's actually pretty easy. You just tell the blueprint, ignore this field, no automation should happen. So you get to control where the automation happens. If you've got like a very specific one-off or ad hoc change that you need to make. Awesome. Cool. We'll keep going. Great questions. Let's see. Beyond Facebook and Google Ads, what other connectors are available? Awesome. So yeah, we should talk about that. So the entire Google universe, so that's PMax, YouTube, all the campaign types, etc. The entire Meta universe, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Microsoft, we are also connected to, let's see, it's a little bit of a list. Ready? Amazon Ads. We've got a DSP partnership with Basis. So some of this is also available and becoming more available on programmatic campaigns. I mentioned Amazon Ads already. We do have a connector with Pinterest. There's a full list that we'll send out. And if you have some specific questions about a channel that you're operating on, my suggestion, I'll throw up a link. In fact, I probably should do that now. I'll go ahead and throw up a link here. If you want to book a meeting, go ahead. We have a director of enterprise solutions that can get on and kind of walk through your specific scenario, show you a little bit more about the tool. But feel free, it's a nice QR code. Go ahead and book a demo there. We can look at your specific channels that you're looking at connecting to. Let's see. What if the state is too long for a field character limit? Yeah, so we've got tag functions, and this is a little much to go into on this call, but again, book a demo. We'd be more than happy to walk you through it. But essentially, yeah, we have a way to handle that. Our system understands the character limits and is able to, you use it within a tag function is what it's called. A little bit technical, but feel free to book a meeting. We'll be happy to walk you through it. Yeah, essentially, you handle that at the tag level to ensure that you never go over those character limits. And then if something weird happens and you happen to go over a character limit, we'll also show you in that review screen and call it out as a QA item. So no big deal. Great. And Awesome. Price for the Fluency platform. Are there different plans available? Yeah, actually there are. So price of the Fluency platform starts at $2,500 a month and goes up from there. Really depends on kind of the parts of the platform you need and how much support you need. It's all, very much a one size fits one. When you come to us and we're helping you to understand what needs to be done. We'll usually scope that, with you guys and determine the right package, right, and the right feature set that you might need. So yeah, we've got packages kind of for all levels, but my suggestion there would be get in touch with one of our enterprise solutions directors and ensure that, and then they can walk you through that for your specific scenario. I think we might be at time. 2:00. If we didn't get to your question, just leave it in the chat. We'll grab all of them and send them out afterwards. But everyone, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you understood it and can see how powerful this can become. Obviously, I didn't show you even half of what's available in a blueprint. I wanted to keep a very specific use case, for you. But really appreciate your time today. Again, if you have any other questions, hit this QR code. I'll leave it up for a few minutes here. More than happy to walk you through kind of what specifically is needed for you and your teams and how we might be able to handle or help you handle some complexity and get you to happy hour a little earlier when those requests come in on a Friday, right? Do it quickly. Awesome. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Really appreciate you. Grab a demo. Would love to see you, talk to you about your specific use cases and also to show you the rest of the Fluency platform. Thanks so much.